the only thing I can think of, Frank, is they intended to play Wayne Thomas at fullback tonight. This was their intentions before the game. So I just assumed then, there he is on his play pass. Wow.
Lockhart picks it off. Lockhart returning the interception to the 43-yard line.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. Welcome to the Gridiron. Before I get started, just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you could maybe give this video a thumbs up or possibly leave a comment below, maybe even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But anyways, thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, the New York Giants, day 3 is in the books of training camp. I also saw it too. They bought, as of right now, anyway, when I'm making this video, they haven't signed them. But, they brought Devontae Booker in, for at least for a tryout anyway, which would be, freaking fantastic. He did a phenomenal job last year. The crappy play calling, the crappy offensive line, our top 3 wide receivers were, I can't say Golladay all the time, but were injured, second, third string quarterbacks in there, and Devontae Booker did a very good job. And it's just a shame of it, because, it's, which happens, quite often when you got a new regime coming in, Devontae, and just don't want to either re-sign them or you just let them go or whatever because, they're not familiar with them or whatever. Well, he did a good job. I mean, sometimes you just, if you're not familiar with them, well, tough. He did a good job. Man, I'm so happy that they're at least trying to bring him back in, at least to try out anyway. I just goes to show you how, sometimes out of it I am. I thought he was, signed with somebody, but no. He did, look at his body of work. I'll show you the numbers. Compare, what he did compared to what Saquon did. His numbers were superior to Saquon's. So I'm very, very happy, that we're going to have if he does, they, bring him in, they at least sign him, right? We're going to have a nice competition going on for the battle the battle behind Saquon. We're going to have quite a few guys there. So I'm so happy we're at least bringing them back and trying them out. So good. I hope him nothing but the best. I don't wish nothing bad on anybody else, but I love Devontae did a really good job for us last year. A bad season, but he was one of the few bright spots that the Giants had, especially on the offense. Devontae Booker. Then they got the day 3 wrapped up. There was some positives. I got a couple articles going over it. Some of it's talking about Kadarius Toney and his music. Aaron Robinson seems like he's kind of getting an earful from Dable because he's taken. He hit. We're going to go over this here. Wan'Dale Robinson on day 2 knocked him to the ground. And it's supposed to be no tackling or anything like that, but Aaron Robinson's ready to start hitting. So, and then I think it was David Sills. I'll read the article here in a moment. It was David Sills. I think he knocked him to the ground as well too, and Dable was kind of giving him an earful. So Aaron Robinson looks like he's ready to. I think Monday is when they're putting on the pads. So Aaron Robinson's getting ready for the pads to be on. Darnay Holmes is doing a really nice job. I think he's had an interception every practice so far. I think he had one day 3. I think he picked it off and ran it back to the house. So he's basically kind of picking up where he left off at. In my Facebook group, I posted a video of him. I don't know if it was the last play that he played last year, or he might have played a few more, because he got injured in the Eagles game. He got injured the end of the first quarter. He played 29 snaps, so he wasn't in there the whole. 29. The Eagles didn't have 29 snaps in the first quarter, so I'm thinking maybe he came in and played a little bit of the second quarter too, but I guess his ribs were injured when he got tackled. You could see he was running with the ball, and there was just kind of a pile up, and he wound up getting hit. I guess he got hit in the ribs. He landed on the ground, and you could see when he ran off the field, he was kind of like hobbling, like he was hurt or something like that. So that was the last game that he had last year, was against the Eagles. It was either week 12 or 13 when we won 13-7. One of the few games we won, but so that was the last game he played last year. Okay, he was out the rest of the season, but he had an interception, and he's just kind of picking up where he left off last year. 3 practices, 3 interceptions, doing pretty good. There's a little article in here, a little bit in here, maybe Danny Dimes is not Danny Dimes in it. Well, according to the one article, first day he looked very good. Some good passes, some good crisp passes that got some zing on him and all and everything. Apparently he's maybe seemed to take a step back the past day or two or whatever. Then there was some guys with some heat exhaustion. Xavier McKinney and Daniel Jones. Dable was letting them call some plays, because sometimes you might just have to, because if you're going to get plays, they don't do them hand signals or nothing anymore. They just took the whole I don't know. I don't know why guys just don't go like this or something like that. Guys hold this thing up like this, and they call the plays. I don't know why you go like that. But it's amazing how many guys call plays from the side, like so their mouths, nobody can see their mouths. But if the communication goes out, right, sometimes you might have to call plays on the fly. So he was letting Daniel Jones call plays and Xavier McKinney call plays, because they have somebody, because Xavier McKinney had the green dot on or something, but Blake Martinez maybe necessarily isn't in there all the time, right? So you have somebody else calling plays, so they had Xavier McKinney in there, so I'm all for that. So there's a lot of good things. For the most part, there's a lot of good things kind of going on. Every now and then when it was, maybe a little bad news here or there, but the biggest thing so far, okay, is after 3 days, right, I don't know of any injuries, and tell you what, that's absolutely fantastic. There's some guys who are injured, but as far as that I know, none of them happened on the first 3 days of training camp, and that's huge.
All right, the New York Giants. Here we go. All right, got this. There's a bunch of articles out there about them bringing in hosting Devontae Booker. This one just happened to be from SB Nation. Could the Giants reunite with Booker after cutting him? Dude, I'm all for that. Tell you what especially the amount of money he got paid last year as a backup. He did such a nice job for us. Really nice job. It's just a short article here, but I'll show you, compare his numbers with what Saquon did last year. ESPN NFL insider Phil Yates is reporting that the New York Giants are hosted. That would be have hosted. Are hosting veteran running back Devontae Booker for a tryout. Yes. Booker, as Giants fans should remember, was a member of their 2021 squad. He was signed to share the load with Saquon Barkley as the 2018 second overall pick returned back from a torn ACL. Booker wound up starting 4 games. When Saquon, the freakiest of injuries, stepped on I can't remember the Cowboy's name, the ankle, just twisted his ankle, or stepped on his foot and twisted his ankle. Freakish accident. He wound up starting 4 games, carrying the ball 145 times, 593 yards, 4.1 yards per carry. Solid, right? 145 times for almost 600 yards. Solid. But also, I'm going to show you. Yeah, this right here. I'm going to show you, too. The guy right here. And he scored 2 touchdowns. He also caught 40 out of 45 targets Didn't have, it was like 6 points. I'll show you in a minute. 6.7 yards of reception. So it wasn't, we're not talking earth shattering here or nothing. Every time he caught the ball, he took it to that. I'm not saying that, but 45 passes went his way. He caught 40 of them. Okay? 8 out of every 9 passes. That's like 88%. I mean, okay. For only 268 yards, another touchdown. While Booker was more efficient than Barkley, yes, he was, new general manager Joe Schoen was forced to release him to create some salary cap space. So I said, I mean, I don't follow all the guys. I mean, because there's so many guys. I mean, I'm an old fart. And when you go back in the day, right, when I first, some guys would get, let go, this, that. You could, they'd pop up on another team. Oh, yeah, But, I mean, it's like now when you got 53 guys and it seems like 30 of them or get let go every year. I mean, so you got, 30 guys on each team, 32 teams, 960 guys, it's, well, I guess not impossible to follow almost all of them or keep up with them. I don't. I keep up with the Giants. You know what I mean? So pretty much who the Giants are bringing in. Maybe, if I hear somebody, one of the Giants guys like, Hernandez, where he winds up going, or, Evan Ingram going to Jacksonville, Dalvin Tomlinson went to Minnesota. Some guys I wind up hearing and all of that, where they wind up going. But I thought Devontae, somebody would have picked him up. He's not that expensive, right? And he did it. I mean, they're looking at him. I mean, they should be looking at him like, damn, he did good. And he was on the Giants last year. My God, we got to bring this guy. I mean, but things like that happen, right? Booker is an efficient. Yes, he is very efficient. Get the ball north and south. I mean, like with Saquon, he'll get it and he'll dance around. And if you don't see nothing here, he tries to break it outside. He might lose 3, 4, 5, whatever yards instead of just taking it. Booker, give me the ball. I'm going to find, I'm going to find a hole. I'm going to try to find a hole, and we're going. If I get 2 yards, I get 2. If I get down low, I get 3 or 4. Maybe I can pop it, maybe get 7, 8, or whatever. We're going to find a hole. We're going north and south. No nonsense, straight ahead runner. Yes. His game contrasts sharply with Barkley's. Yes, it does. And he's at his best on quick hitting plays between the tackles. Yes, he is. Turn around, hand him the ball. He finds, no dancing really or anything like that. Just tries to pick a hole, the best hole he can, and just gets as much as he can with it. Right? The Giants have recently moved to add veteran depth to their young roster, highlighted by their reunion with safety Andrew Adams. Could a reunion with Booker be in the works too? Question mark. I would love it. I'm happy about Andrew Adams. So now, once again, same thing here. Doesn't mean he's going to make the team. No. But solid veteran presence. He's been with the Giants. Okay. Obviously, when he was with the Giants, that was quite a few coaches ago. But, he's familiar with the organization. Solid safety, right? And if he, if he makes the team and he's on the bench and, he comes in or, somebody gets injured or whatever like that, not the worst liability in the world. That is the same thing with Devontae Booker. If I hope he kept himself in shape. I hope they bring him in and they're like, yep, let's sign this guy, put him on, see if he'll make the final 53. I hope he does, because he was a fantastic pickup for us last year. One of the few bright spots that we had. Now, you'll see we're starting to get a little right? A little backlog. We got 6 running backs now. Okay. And of course, that doesn't count possibly Jeremiah Hall, maybe being a fullback, right? Possibly. But you'll see we got 6, right? If we bring in Devontae Booker, we'll be up to 7. Now, obviously, but we probably maybe have 3 guys, okay, on the active roster, for game day, 3 running backs. Maybe we'll have, if we're going to keep Jeremiah Hall maybe as a fullback, then we might have 4 guys. But you're also seeing, too, like in practice, Wan'Dale Robinson, Kadarius Toney were taking plays, running plays out of the backfield, too. So, just because, we got maybe 3 guys on the active roster on the final 53 during game day, doesn't mean one of those 3 guys, or even including Jeremiah Hall, doesn't mean one of those 4 guys, per se, will be in the backfield running with the ball. Wan'Dale Robinson and Kadarius Toney might be doing that as well, too. And the beautiful thing with Kadarius Toney can run the ball, he can catch the ball, and he can throw the ball. So, I mean, I'll tell you what, the young joker, right? Dable's going to try to get the most out of him. It's going to be a very interesting season for the young joker. I just hope the frickin' dude just stays healthy. I mean, if you're going to miss a game here or there, okay, a couple of games. But, I mean, last year was just unbelievable. It was like they encapsulated the whole season, right? I mean, just how bad as the season was, that's how it was like with him. I mean, you see the talent was there, and he just kept getting one injury after the other. It was just absolutely horrible. But, I mean, you see, we got Saquon Barkley, we got Matt Breida, Gary Brightwell, who did get some carries on the third day of training camp. So, I mean, apparently he was kind of like missing in action the first couple of days from some of these reports I've been reading. But Gary Brightwell did have did get in on some action today. So then you got that Jashawn Corbin, who I'm pulling for. I think I said, we're only going to carry so many running backs. So now, then also, how many might go on the practice squad? You only got so many guys on the practice squad either. I mean, we're going to keep it 1, 8. I mean, 2 running backs on the practice squad. I mean, I don't know. That'd be tough. But then you got Antonio Williams and Sandro Platzgummer. I just love saying that guy's last name. But then we got Devontae Booker. That'll give us 7. I mean, So, but then you look here. I mean, Devontae had a nice solid season. I mean, the first 4 years with my freaking big head is in the way, so you can't see these. But last year, it was a grade out of 65. Okay. His passing grade was a 67, pass blocking. His blocking's not very good, okay? But his running was a 66.5, 67 passing grade, right? I mean, his pass blocking is not very, and his run blocking, not very good. So, but, I mean, the year before that, when he was with the Raiders, 68.7, right? Very, very good. His running's always been very good. I mean, like 66, 71, 65, 69, 61, his running grade is usually very good. And you notice every grade is always like in the 60s, except for his first year, right? But the first 4 years, he was with Denver, right? He's 65.8, 64.6, and 64.4. His first year was a 55.3. But, he's, not too bad. Not too bad. Solid, But, I mean, last year with the Giants, 65, right? Passing grade was a 67, and running grade was a 66.5. Very, very solid, I mean, as I said, you look, with the Giants, right? He started the 4 games when Saquon was hurt. Okay, he played in all 16. He had 145 carries, 593 yards, 2 touchdowns. At 145 carries, he got 31 first downs, right? Averaged 4.1 yards per carry, just solid, good, solid. I mean, nothing, not 4.7, 4.8, no 5 yards per carry, nothing like. I don't even know if Jim Brown or Gale Sayers or somebody could average 5 yards a carry behind the Giants' offensive with their play calling that we had last year. But solid numbers, okay? And here, we went over this in the article. All right, he had 45 passes thrown his way, caught 40 of them. Only 268 yards, only 6.7 yards per carry. Nothing super spectacular there. But out of the 40 receptions, he had 11 first downs. He had 1 touchdown. Just nice and solid. Catch rate, 80. Okay, I thought I said 88, but 88.9%. Right. Okay, let's go to Saquon. 88.9%. What did Saquon have last year? 71.9. So Devontae was 89. Saquon was 72. Right? Saquon, 3.7 yards per carry. All right, let's see. What do we got? Devontae had, is this amazing? Could they possibly ever do this ever again? Devontae, 593 rushing yards. 593. Saquon, 593 rushing yards. Could they ever, right? Saquon did 162 carries. Devontae did it at 145. So Devontae, 593, 4.1, right? The same amount of rushing yards. He did it on 17 more carries. So he only averaged 3.7 yards per carry, right? So Devontae almost averaged a half a yard per carry more than Saquon did. All right. And here we got. He had, all right here. This is weird. I saw the stats and the stuff didn't dawn on me. He had 41 catches, right? Devontae Booker had 40. Devontae had 40 and 45 targets. Saquon had 41 and 57 targets. So, it had almost identical numbers, except for the yards. But you'll see also here, let's see, he averaged 6.4 yards of reception. So, actually, Devontae did even better. Devontae was he 6.7? Devontae was 6.7 yards of reception. Saquon was only 6.4. So, right? But 72% catch rate, right? His first year was at 75. He had 121 targets, scored 91 balls, right? So he's going to get a lot balls thrown his way. But as I said, you'll notice, just Devontae did better. He was a backup, made less money, was always available, played in every game, and did better pass receiving and did better rushing with the same crappy offensive line, same crappy quarterback play, same crappy play call, same everything. Devontae Booker was better on the cheaper. So I hope he does well, and I certainly hope he makes the team. Then we go to after the third day of training camp. Yeah, right. 5 things we learned from training camp. We got Monty Toomer here. He broke down the group after the track practice was over. Monty talked to the guys. The Giants returned to the Quest Diagnostic Training Center on Friday for day 3 of training camp. Head coach Brian Dable, wide receiver Kadarius Toney, and safety Xavier McKinney each spent time talking to the media. After several former players visited with the team during the spring, another Giants alumni was at the facility Friday. Ring of Honor wide receiver Monty Toomer met with Dable before addressing the team following the conclusion of practice. Very good. Let's see here. Here's what we learned on Friday. Yes, this is good. This is good, right? Xavier McKinney was a leader on defense last season, finishing third on the team with 93 total tackles and recording a team-high 5 interceptions. McKinney spoke to the media for the first time since OTAs on Friday when he shared Wink Martindale connected him with former Baltimore Ravens safety Eric Weddle in the offseason so he could learn more about the new defense. I actually talked to former Ravens safety Eric Weddle a couple of times during the offseason, said the young safety. He helped me a lot, actually, with just kind of how to disguise certain things and how to be on the same page with defensive coordinator Wink Martindale and things like that. We had good conversation. He really helped me out in terms of looking at film, studying film, how we did it when he had Wink. So he was really helpful. Weddle spent 3 seasons with the Ravens, but only one while Martindale served as Baltimore's defensive coordinator. The former NFL safety finished third on the team in total tackles that year while starting all 16 games and was named to his 6th and final Pro Bowl. Following Weddle's departure in Baltimore, the Ravens saw a very solid play out of Chuck Clark at the safety position. I'm definitely still learning it, but I definitely feel a lot more comfortable because I'm able to kind of do everything. McKinney stated about how he's feel with the new defense. That's kind of been my main focus for a couple of years now. Like I said, I'm still a little bit rusty. I'm still learning through some things. It's definitely been fun being able to be everywhere on the field. It's something I always like doing, and he does it very, very well. I tell you, well, you gotta give Gettleman a little bit of credit there, drafting him. Holmes excelling at the start of camp. Yeah. Giants are free practice in the training camp, and so far, Darnay Holmes has made a highlight reel play at every one. During Wednesday's practice, Holmes made a diving interception. He followed that up with an interception and a diving pass breakup yesterday. On Friday, Holmes read a screenplay perfectly, stepping in front of the receiver to intercept the pass and bring it the other way for a touchdown. Pick 6. Holmes has started 9 total games across the first 2 seasons, registering 7 total pass breakups and an interception each campaign. The 24-year-old is competing for a starting role this season. Tony says there's a lot of juice in the new offense, which is cool. Kadarius Toney flashed his potential during weeks 4 through 5 last. Yes, he did. A 2-week stretch in which he caught 16 passes with 267 yards. The young receiver has had a strong start to camp, making several good catches on passes from Daniel Jones each day of practice. Dable and offensive coordinator Mike Kafka came from 2 stellar offenses in Buffalo and Kansas City, respectively. Yes, they did. And so far in camp, Tony and the rest of the offense can feel the 2 coaches' impact on the unit. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be freaking like night and day compared to what Jason Garrett, the Clapper, had for him. I feel like there's a lot of energy they brought into the building, Tony said about the new coaching staff. A lot of flexibility. I guess you could say it's more open. I really enjoy it. It definitely is a lot of fun out there. A lot of juice, a lot of energy. I like that they came here honestly. And we got, after missing spring workouts due to an injury, Tony's first appearance on the field for Dable and the new coaching staff came earlier this week. But just because he wasn't practicing early in the offseason doesn't mean he wasn't building a strong relationship with his new head coach. He's a good person. He cares about his teammates, and we have good communication. Him and Dable stated about their second-year receiver. He likes football. He likes music. I think he's a loyal guy. And you got to build trust with KT, and he had to build trust with me. Really no different than a lot of guys. Trust is probably one of the most important things in any relationship you can build. I told you from day one, I've been very happy with KT, his approach, how he is as a person, first and foremost, because that's what matters to me. We've seen him in college. We evaluated him, when he was at Buffalo. They had to see him. I mean, if you're an offensive coordinator, and you didn't know about Kadarius Toney, you're not doing a good job. He was a tremendous skill set. He's smart. We moved him around quite a bit. He's a good young player that we're going to help develop any way we can, both on and off the field. That's fantastic. There's a bunch of 133 training camp photos, right? So this is Giants.com. So I got a whole bunch of photos for you. McKinney, Jones, play coordinator. Near the end of practice on Thursday, Dable did something a little different. At the very end of the session, the head coach cut off the communication between the 2 coordinators and the 2 players wearing the green dots, McKinney and Daniel Jones, leaving the players responsible for calling the play. Very cool, very cool. The purpose of this was to help prepare the 2 young leaders for that situation in case the headsets or walkie-talkie communications during a game cuts out. And Judge said that quite often last year. He said we were having problems with the headsets. And I remember everybody was making fun of him. We had problems with the headset, right? Because they had to call timeouts. It had delayed games or this, that, the other thing. They're like, what was going on? The headsets were cutting out. So it happens, right? Something that does happen periodically. Yes, it does. I think signal caller safety Xavier McKinney, or they call him X, and quarterback Daniel Jones, they're relaying plays in at times to the players. Just put them on the other end of it. I think there's some friendly competition fire there, and the guys get a kick out of it. The head coach said Friday morning. There was a lot of energy there, and at the end of practice, I asked X this morning if you liked his play call, and Daniel too. And usually you like it when it works, and you don't when it doesn't. But X was pretty firm on his call. Well, we'll do that as well. We'll have the walkie-talkies or headsets out there for our players, and there will be times, and I did it in the spring, where I will purposely cut them off on defensive coordinator Wink Martindale and offensive coordinator Mike Kafka, because it could happen in a game like that. And now they just have to take control and be able to operate and not panic and all the hand gestures. Just go out and make sure that they have a play all in mind and be able to lead the team. So that's good. It's something different, right? Speaking of the green dots, McKinney's been wearing it on defense since OTAs. While this is the first time the safety has been the defensive play caller since entering the NFL, he is not new to being the player to receive the signals from the sideline. I talked to Wink, and it's not something that's new to me, McKinney told reporters. I've done it before. I did it at Bama. So the highest of the highest, right? It's not something that's surprising, or it's not something that's too hard. It's different when you've got grown men in the huddle and you're trying to get the call to everybody. Obviously, being on the back end of it, you might have to run 30 yards and run back to get the play to everybody. It's not too unusual for me. And we got, this is what he's saying now. I mean, every time Darius Slayton, drops the ball, I'm sure. Yeah. No coach is going to just say, yeah, he sucks. Yeah, I can't wait to get rid of that guy. He's saying the right things, but what's he thinking, right? Training camp serves as time for everyone on the team, players and coaches alike, to prepare for the upcoming season. Dable highlighted that Friday morning when he was asked about wide receiver Darius Slayton dropping a couple passes in the first few days of camp, and reiterated that it's more important to see how our player responds to a negative play than the play itself. As for Slayton in particular, the fourth-year receiver bounced back during Thursday's practice by catching a short touchdown pass from Jones. Okay. I have confidence in Slay. We all saw him a couple of drops out there, but that's what practice is for, Dable said. But again, we're in the second day. A lot of mistakes that will be made, some physical, some mental, and that's why you have coaches. You have so many coaches on the football team. Coaching is a technique and fundamentals and figuring out reasons why. It's easy to come back. A player comes back and you say, you need to block this guy or you need to catch the ball. But find out the details. Coach it up. He's worked real hard and he'll continue to work. And he'll get reps throughout camp. He's going to get his chances. But, I mean, if he doesn't make the team, it's on him. Darius is in a good spot. Again, there's dropping a ball and throwing a bad pass. That's so easy for everyone to see, and it's right there in the open. But how you respond, and I believe right there at the end, we had a call at period when he came down and ran a little shallow, and Daniel scrambled out, and he made a big play. So being able to respond to that is important. So we'll have to keep an eye on Mr. Darius Slayton there, because cut downs are coming. A couple weeks. So, he's right. And he's making about $2.5 million. So if they let him go, they're going to be saving themselves some money. All right, then we got, Giants training camp, 10 takeaways from day 3. This is Giants Wire. The Giants are back on the field for their third day of training camp practice on Friday. And we have just one more to go, meaning Saturday, meaning today. And then they have a scheduled day off on Sunday. Head coach Brian Day will kick things off with a press conference, recapping the first 2 days and setting the stage for what lay ahead. Here are 10 quick takeaways from Friday's 2-hour practice. Wan'Dale Robinson uninjured. This is where Aaron Robinson not laid him out, but rookie wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson left Thursday's practice after getting shaken up during a scramble drill. Robinson hauled in a pass and got hit by cornerback Aaron Robinson. The rookie landed hard, left practice, and did not return. However, Dable says the issue is minor. Robinson is fine, and he's back on the field on Friday. So, Dable said Wan'Dale Robinson is fine after getting shaken up late in yesterday's practice when he got hit in the back by Aaron Robinson. So, Aaron Robinson, he's ready to rock and roll. Heat exhaustion. With temperatures in the 90s and the heat index nearing or over 100 degrees in East Rutherford this week, Giants chose to shut some players down on Friday. Those sitting on the side including center John Feliciano, who Dable said was suffering from heat exhaustion. Jamil Douglas stepped in and took first-team reps at center. All the players who missed Friday's practice due to the heat are expected back Saturday. So, good. It's good. Xavier McKinney, once again, we went over this, is calling plays. All right. Safety Xavier McKinney was given the opportunity to call plays during Thursday's practice, and according to Dable, he handled the responsibility well. But McKinney wasn't alone. Dable wants to get several players comfortable with the task in the event that they get thrust into it due to injury or some other reason. Expect to see more of this as camp wears on. So that's good. Get more guys involved. That certainly doesn't mean that, we're going to have a boatload of guys calling plays this year, but, you never know. Things happen. Right? Fan recording is banned. Reporters and fans were permitted to record the team's first training camp practice on Wednesday. Media then had their recording availability limited during team periods on Thursday. On Friday, the recording rules for team periods applied to both the media and fans. Sad day. No videotaping during team periods. So, well. This is not uncommon practice, but one largely forgotten about since the Giants haven't had fans at the camp since 29. So the past couple of years, they haven't had fans there, so it's like, I don't need to tell anybody not to record. But it is what it is. Practice structure. There's been a very specific structure to each training camp practice thus far, and that's quite obviously by design. On Wednesday, the team worked in the red zone. On Thursday, they added a scramble drill. On Friday, it was third and long situations was the focus. In between that, there were wind sprints and various other drills. It's areas that you need to work on. The red zone is a really important area in terms of scoring the football and then stopping and creating field goals, Dable told reporters. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Sprints also help players coming back from being down for 30 to 40 plays during the offseason. They're not running 20 go routes or covering post or deep crosses or anything like that. And then usually on a 3rd and 2 to 3rd and 5 day, it's a lot shorter routes too. You're running routes at the sticks, you're running shallow crossers and things like that. Some of the running kind of helps them ramp up. Today, practice will be a little bit longer. Again, I think trying to put players in stressful situations in practice is important. Absolutely. Absolutely. Dable added that Saturday's practice will focus on the fringe area, and pads will go on come Monday. That's real football, he said. Young Joker music. We got, during Thursday's practice, it was noticed that some of the music blaring over the speakers was that of wide receiver Kadarius Toney, also known as the Young Joker. Asked about that on Friday, Dable had a funny response. He'd send me songs here and there, some I'd like better than others. Some I like better. Dable said with a smile, he's a talented guy. Darnay Holmes is flashing. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Yes, it's early in camp, and most things should be taken with a grain of salt. However, it's hard to ignore the display cornerback Darnay Holmes has put on this week. Holmes recorded another interception on Friday, giving him 3, one each day so far, and returned this one for a score. He jumped in front of that the screen pass, read it perfectly, jumped in front of it, took it to the house. The selection of Cordell Flott in the 2022 NFL Draft clearly lit a fire. Competition never hurt nobody. In this case, apparently it's making them a lot better. Danny not diving. So this is one of the few things I'm one of the bad things that I've heard so far. After an impressive first day, quarterback Daniel Jones fell off a bit in each of the previous 2 practices, and Friday was arguably his worst of the 2. Jones was inconsistent and made a few throws that raised an eyebrow. He also surrendered the aforementioned pick 6 to Holmes and had another drop by McKinney, so he could have had another interception. There were some impressive throws by Jones, but things seemed a bit unbalanced on the negative side. With all of that having been said, it's important to remember how early in camp the team is. The defense is generally out ahead of the offense, and that was evident on Friday. So, But, I mean, apparently had a very nice first day. And then Aaron Robinson gets an earful. This is the second day in a row he knocked a player to the ground. On Thursday, second-year cornerback Aaron Robinson hit rookie wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson in the back, sending him to the ground. Wan'Dale did not return to practice, as noted. He was back on Friday. So, good. Robinson heard about that hit from Dable yesterday and then got another earful on Friday. For the second consecutive day, Robinson made entirely too much contact, this time taking wide receiver David Sills to the ground. The staff was furious. So, he's ready to hit. Robinson is clearly ready to hit, but the Giants aren't in pads and it's only day 3. He'll get his chance on Monday, but he needs to cool it down until then. Kayvon showed out. Yeah, apparently he did good. He schooled our 2 tackles, both of them. So, I mean, that's good and bad, but I mean, that's we got from Kayvon. So that's what you want. The defense clearly had an advantage over the offense on Friday as Wink Martindale's completely flummoxed them. Pressure was coming from every direction, and the confused allowed rookie edge rusher Kayvon Thibodeaux to capitalize. Not only did Thibodeaux beat rookie right tackle Evan Neal in practice, he also took left tackle Andrew Thomas to task with an inside move. Had it been a real game, Daniel Jones might have lost his head. Team periods ended with Kayvon Thibodeaux quickly beating Evan Neal on a pass rush to Daniel Jones. So, well, that's what you got him for, right? We got Kayvon Thibodeaux just hit Andrew Thomas with an inside move and won the rep clean in team drills. Would have obliterated Daniel Jones on a completion to Wan'Dale Robinson. That first step is electric. Been fun watching KT versus AT and Evan Neal. So, I mean, that's what that's what you want. I mean, you want to hear good things from everybody, but I mean, you got to keep in mind too. I mean, once again, it's early in camp, but you don't want to hear, the offense. I'll tell you what, Daniel Jones is looking great. Saquon Barkley caught 13 touchdowns. Wan'Dale Robinson had another 8. This guy had 7 touchdowns. This guy caught this many touchdowns. And then you're like, well, the defense sucks. You don't want to hear the defense. Darnay Holmes had 5 interceptions. Xavier McKinney had 3. Cordell Flott had 5 interceptions. Kayvon Thibodeaux probably could have had 8 sacks. You don't want to hear that either. It's like, oh, the offense sucks. So you want to get a mix. You want to hear like everybody. You know what I mean? I mean, if Darnay Holmes has a good, okay, good. But then you also Wan'Dale Robinson had a nice few catches. Daniel Jones threw some good passes. Evan Neal made some good. You want to hear something good from everybody. Can't be all one-sided. If it's one-sided, then you got a problem. But I mean, it's just nice to hear, a lot of positives. But the other biggest thing I want to keep stressing is apparently, like after 3 days, there's no injuries.
So you see, a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff going on. I mean, there's a little bit bad news here and there, but today's Saturday, right? Today be day 4. They'll be out there again. Sunday they're off, right? And then Monday they come back and they put the pads on and they get to start going out. They get to start hitting each other. There was a fight or two last year. Remember the one big brawl last year? I don't know if the media was there. I think some of the media was there, but they weren't allowed to have their video cameras on, or they couldn't take video or nothing with their phones or anything like that. That's why last year the brawl that the Giants had with Daniel Jones wound up on the bottom and everything like that. There was no video of it. But so I mean, it's just a possibility. Once the pads go on, tempers might have a tendency to flare, especially in the heat. But you figure today's Saturday, right? 2 days to put the pads on, and then you figure not this coming Thursday, but the following Thursday, it's going to be the first preseason game. They're going to go up against the Patriots, right? It's on Thursday night, August 11th at 7 o'clock at night. So right now we're 12 days away from the first preseason game. Isn't it freaking amazing? Absolutely amazing. But we're going over that. I mean, you could see, I mean, how Devontae Booker, his numbers were just, you know, I'm not going to say night and day better than Saquon's, but I mean, his numbers were better. Yeah. It's hard to, you know. And when Saquon was hurt, Devontae was in there. Devontae got some better numbers. I mean, his catch, the amount of balls that were thrown his way compared to the amount of catches he had, the number is very, very good. So, I mean, all in all, I mean, especially he was in there, you know, same crappy offensive line, same bad play calling, same bad quarterback play and everything. And he had a very nice season for the Giants. So I'm so happy that they at least brought him in, you know, and at least going to take a look at him. I mean, I hope he makes it. I hope he makes the team because I mean, if we get Saquon, if you got him, they'll probably. I don't know if they'll keep 3 running backs and maybe a fullback. Exactly how they're going to do it, but I mean, they got a nice assortment of running backs. I mean, I'm not saying we got the best running backs in the league or not. I'm not saying that, but I mean, just some. I mean, you start with Saquon, all right. I mean, to me, top 10 guy. I mean, whether he gets hurt or not, I mean, the talent is there, right? But, I mean, after Saquon, I mean, if we can get Devontae Booker back in here, I mean, he's only played, I think he's played 6 seasons. I think he played 4 with Denver, right? 1 with the Raiders, 1 with the Giants. So this would be his 7th season. So, I mean, he's still got some gas left in the tank for sure. But if we get him and some of the other guys there, I mean, we'll have a nice running back room. But, and then, Xavier McKinney talked with Eric Weddle, who was with Wink Martindale. He was calling his defensive plays, so that's huge. So it seems like they're setting up Xavier McKinney here to hopefully, you know, we're going to re-sign him, right, for a long term. But also sounds like, you know, we're going to start maybe getting him, letting him quite possibly be the leader maybe of the defense, especially if we don't want up re-signing Blake Martinez after the season's over. So it'd be very interesting to see. But I mean, seems like, you know, they're letting the reins go to Mr. Xavier McKinney, and I'm very, very happy about that. And look for him. You know, I hate saying somebody's going to be a all-pro or nothing like that, but I mean, he had a nice season last year, 5 interceptions on a not so great defense. You know, if he can take that next step this year, hopefully he'll be an all-pro. If not this year, hopefully next year. But I'm really, really happy that we have a safety, and hopefully, unlike what we did with Landon Collins after, you know, he played with us, you know, we just didn't re-sign him. Hopefully, you know, with Xavier McKinney, before next season starts, hopefully we extend his contract because he's one of those guys you want to start building a defense around, without question. Him, you know, you got maybe Azeez Ojulari, right? You got Kayvon Thibodeau, you got Dexter Lawrence. I don't know if we're going to keep Leonard Williams around. He's a little expensive, but I mean, Aaron Robinson. I don't know if we're going to keep Adoree Jackson. He's still young. But I mean, you know, if you got Xavier McKinney, then some of the guys we brought in, Beavers, Micah McFadden, Belton, right? Maybe Darnay Holmes has been doing so good. Got Cordell Flott, bringing him in. You know, you got some young guys in there. We can start building a nice defense around. And I said, if you can, maybe keep Dexter Lawrence, and I said Azeez, and all those guys I was mentioning, hopefully keep re-signing them. And then as the seasons go by, you know, next year you add another little piece to the puzzle. The next year goes by, maybe add another 1 or 2 pieces to the puzzle. I mean, soon, you know, we should have ourselves a pretty good defense. Now, of course, you know, we have a good defense. You needed a good offense to go with that as well, too. But I think, you know, defense aside, I do think no matter what, I mean, I'm not saying we're going to win 13 games or this amount of games or whatever. I'm saying if we can win 7 or 8, I'd be pretty happy, especially with this easy schedule. But if worse comes to worse, the offense should at least be a lot more exciting, you know, than it was in years past. You know, I mean, I have a hard time, unless we get decimated by injuries, I have a hard time believing that the Giants won't score more points than they have in the past. You know, I mean, the offense really looks like it's going to be on the up and up. And if everybody can stay healthy, well, That's asking for kind of a miracle. But if we can stay reasonably healthy, I don't see any reason why we can't score more points this year than we have in the past. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants! Woo!